The art of shaping clay to produce pottery and household implements has its roots in the area around Florence, and in particular the area of Impruneta. The word terracotta is used to define objects obtained by the drying and baking of previously moulded clay. The first archaeological finds date back to Neolithic times. Much appreciated by the Etruscans and the ancient Romans, terracotta was also used on a large scale at the beginning of the Renaissance. The great protagonists of the 15th century to use the terracotta from Impruneta were sculptors like Lorenzo Ghiberti, Donatello, Luca della Robbia, and Filippo Brunelleschi, the first architect to commission adornments in terracotta to enhance the structure of his buildings. Painted and glazed terracotta was also a product of the vital and dynamic workshops of the Renaissance. As a result of this great and prosperous era, the art of terracotta has been passed down through the workshops over the following centuries, so that now terracotta red has become the predominant colour of most Tuscan cities. Terracotta has also been widely used for the preservation and storage of food. Until a few decades ago, the cellars of Tuscan farms would be full of large terracotta jars made in the kilns of Impruneta, used for storing olive oil. From the first Greek settlements in Italy, man has used terracotta for the storage and transport of wine. The jars brought over by the ancient Greeks and successively distributed throughout Italy by the Etruscans were the first containers to be used for fermented grape juice. The close link between wine and pottery came about over a natural course in time, due to an extraordinary capacity for thermal insulation, and thanks to its special physical and chemical characteristics, terracotta became the perfect element for the preservation of wine. The Artenova factory decided to investigate the possible relationship between wine and the terracotta of Impruneta. With consultation from various experts, they put into production a series of containers, handmade in the traditional way and finalized for commercial use. The manual construction of a large earthenware jar requires considerable experience. The clay, after being shaped and compacted to eliminate air bubbles that may cause problems during firing, is then flattened and beaten onto a wooden board, creating the foundation of the pot, the base on which to start construction. The craftsman then continues his work on the amphora using a technique known as colombino, where the clay is moulded into long cylinders called wicks, which are then overlaid one on top of the other. The wicks are superimposed and compressed together by hand, so that layer by layer the vase is gradually built up in order to avoid the collapsing of the sides. Once the ropes of clay are welded together, the expert hands of Giuseppe Parisi, using precise movements, clean and smooth down the walls of the vessel, which slowly begins to take shape. A cane with a nail stuck in it is used to trim and level the edge of the vase, eliminating any superfluous clay. These simple primitive tools have been used for centuries without any need to replace them with modern techniques. Diameter and height are constantly measured to ensure the smooth and harmonious growth of the pot. Still using the hands, and with the help of a wooden peg, the clay is pierced to prepare the lodgings to fit the drainage tap. This delicate stage, if poorly executed, can permanently affect the hermetic sealing of the jar. Only after the clay is baked are you able to see if this marriage of clay and steel has been well forged. After several days of patient work, the urn begins to take its final shape. Now the finishing touches are commenced. Another wick is used to define the upper lip of the jar, which must be solid and well proportioned. It is rubbed down energetically to make it smooth and to ensure that it has the same thickness all the way around. The date carved in the clay is an important detail, allowing the identification and dating of the beautiful artifacts adorning the Tuscan landscape. Now, air and fire will complete the work. The drying takes place in a special room called the essiccatoio. The furnace, reaching a temperature of around 1000 degrees, will give the terracotta of Impruneta its unique colour. The drying time varies between 1 and 3 months, depending on seasonal weather conditions and the size of the object. A special airtight system has also been designed to fit the amphorae, enabling the complete isolation of the wine from oxygen. The stainless steel cap and the taps for partial and complete drainage guarantee the same functionality as traditional wine vats. Terracotta and wine, two elements that have sailed across the centuries, accompanying the development of humanity, have come together to discover a close and fruitful relationship.